It is snowing like crazy outside. They're saying that we're having a winter storm. Trees are blowing in the wind. It's so pretty outside, isn't it? Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Get this camera set up. Well, we're back out on the front porch. A little can of water with me. Sitting out here, it's about 6:15. I'm sitting out on the front porch because Alex just got home like 10 minutes ago. It's actually, you would think, here I'll show you all the snow that we have out here. You would think that it's really cold outside, but it's actually not too bad. Feels really refreshing. I can smell the fireplaces burning from other people's houses, which is really nice. And already the snow is melting. It's like a really wet snow. So I showed the video at the beginning of this morning. I'm gonna explain that in just a second. But if you listen, hold on a second. You can hear how it's like already dripping and melting off the side of our house. So it's really not that bad out here. And Alex just got home, so I told him, I said, I'm gonna go vlog outside. He goes, outside? And I said, yeah, it's really not that bad outside. So I'll sit outside and vlog so that you can, you know, hang out inside and relax. And he and I were getting all of the trash together and gathering it because the trash goes out tomorrow. And then he said he was gonna push it out in just a second. So anyway, let me tell you about the last 24, I'm trying to get this settled so I can sit back comfortably. The last 24 to, I was gonna say 48 hours, but I vlogged yesterday, so the last 24 hours. So yesterday, went to my meeting with Tanya Jane. We went and got coffee first at Starbucks. I almost never go to Starbucks anymore. So it's such a special treat for me when I go. And I got a iced brown sugar oat milk shaken espresso. It was so delicious. I was so excited about it. And then, so sometimes our meeting, when they're using the main room at the church, they have it like at a different place. And so Tanya was like, do you want to try a different meeting tonight? And I was like, yeah, sure. So we tried a different meeting last night. And we went to a meeting that I had never been to before. And she had never been to before. And it was like where, I would say there were probably, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 people total in the meeting. And there were a lot of newcomers. Everybody in the meeting was, with the exception of Tanya and I, under a year. And it was really refreshing to go to a meeting that had that many newcomers in it. You know, there was a lot of hope. And I don't know, it just was really, it was really refreshing. And the topic was relationships and recovery. And you know, it was interesting hearing people, like I can remember being in early recovery and, you know, wanting to get right in a relationship. And I did get right in a relationship. And then when that one ended, I got right in another relationship. And so, and then I said that in the meeting, you know, and I just kind of shared my truth. And I said, you know, what I realized, I think all these years later is I wasn't really looking for love. I wasn't really looking for a boyfriend. I wasn't really looking for a partner. I was looking for validation. You know, I wanted someone to tell me that I was good enough, that I was okay. And in early recovery, I don't know that anybody could have told me this. I don't know that I would have gotten it. But what I know looking back was that any form of relationship or love that I was seeking was also a drug at that time, you know? I just wanted that instant feeling of, you know, if you like me or if you love me, then I'm good enough. And then it fixed for just a short period of time, that feeling that I had inside of me. And and not with like TMI or anything like that, but even just being intimate with somebody, being sexual with somebody, it was like, for the moment when I was with them, it made me feel like I was loved, or it made me feel like, wow, this person really likes me, and so it was like a quick fix to a bigger issue. And it took many, many years for me to realize, I think that's, the trick of codependency. It took many, many years for me to realize that having a person by my side is not what fixes it, that I have to do all of the work inside, and I have to do the work on feeling good enough about myself and validating my own self-worth. So the meeting was really great, and it was interesting because when I started coming back to meetings about 10 years ago, I went to meetings a lot at this one place, and I met this guy, and he just was like one of many people that I had met. And last night, it was his 1-year sobriety birthday, and he said, I should be having, like, I think he said something like 9 years or something like that. He said, but I'm celebrating 1 year, and I was talking to him afterwards, and I said, that's why we say, stick around for the miracle. So many people, they go back out and they don't come back in, but there are a lot of people that go back out and come back in, and 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 eventually it sticks. When you stick around for the miracle, you can't have everything that goes along with this amazing life that I have. So, God, it was such a great meeting, and there was a long period of time when I went to a lot of meetings. I went to a lot of candlelight meetings. This was just probably 6 to 8 years ago. I think it was about the time that I started on YouTube. And I was going to, 5 or 6 candlelight meetings a week, until my old sponsor told me that he felt like I was hiding out in meetings. He was like, why are you hiding out in meetings? What are you running from? And that was when Alex and I, our marriage was not great and things like that. And so that's when we started therapy and all of that. But, at that time that I was going to those meetings, there were so many people that were living in halfway houses, and people that were homeless that I was meeting, people that had very little sobriety, and just when you're sitting across from somebody and, they have 30 days sober, and they'll do anything, to continue to stay sober. And there was just a brightness in their lives, or their eyes, and, they've gone through a prison and halfway houses and lost this and lost that, there's just, it reminds you of where you've been. And, so yeah, I'm really happy that we went to that meeting last night. I missed my home group, but it was great that we went to a different meeting last night. It was really refreshing, and everybody was so nice, and just, really welcoming. So anyway, so that was that. And then after that, we went to the gas station. I got an egg salad sandwich and a lemonade and some cheese and chips. And then I came home, and Alex was finishing up watching Little Fires Everywhere. And so I got my egg salad sandwich out and my cheese and stuff. I also got this little container, I think it's Sabra, if that's how you pronounce it, the hummus that I like. And it was little pretzels on top, and then it has hummus on the bottom of it, but I didn't eat it last night. I thought it was so cute at the gas station. So I got all my food out, and I put it out on the little TV tray that we have in there, and I watched the last episode, the first episode of, did I watch the last episode, or had I already watched that? No, I watched the last episode of Truth Be Told with Octavia Spencer. And then I started watching the first episode of season 3 of Truth Be Told, and we had the lights off, and I was like on the couch, and I was getting so tired, and so I kind of like started laying on the couch while I was watching the show, and finally I looked at Alex and I said, I think I'm gonna go upstairs and lay down for a little bit. He was like, okay, babe. I said, how many more episodes do you have? He's opening the garage door to take the trash out. And he's like, I'm on my last one right now. And so I went upstairs and I laid down, and that was at about 10 or 10:30. And I laid down in bed, and I had just drifted off and fallen asleep well, I was kind of waiting for the snow, because we're supposed to have this huge snowstorm that was supposed to start at like 11 o'clock last night. Thanks, babe. He gave me a thumbs up. We were supposed to have this huge snowstorm, 6 to 8 inches, that was supposed to start last night. And it was supposed to, like, all these different times, like 11 or 1 a.m. Alex said 1 a.m., Tanya said 11, so 11 p.m., not 11 a.m., 11 p.m. And it was supposed to come in different waves, like, it was supposed to come for like 2 or 3 hours and stop, and then in the morning it was supposed to pick up again. And so I had said to Alex, I said, well, maybe, you know, you could work from home tomorrow if it's like a snow day. And he's like, well, if it's bad enough, yeah, like I won't go into work. Like I'll just work from home, and then we can have like a snow day or whatever. And I was real excited about that. Like I was like, okay, we can have a cozy snow day and, you know, film a few videos, and then like, you know, we can just like watch movies and like eat bad food and whatever. So I had bought a bunch of junk at the gas station last night. Well, so anyway, Alex came up stairs, and I was actually going to get up and I was going to watch like 2 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead, and I turned off my alarm and I just like set it for this morning. I set it for like, I think at that point he came upstairs about 11:30, 11:45, and I set it for like 9:30 or something like that. I don't even remember. And I was like, I'm gonna get a good night's sleep and get up early and whatnot. So I fell asleep. Oh my God, I slept so good last night, you guys. Went to sleep. This is the problem, okay? I woke up this morning, and I woke up at like 6:30 in the morning, and I was wide awake. And I mean, wide awake and like revving to go. And so, and I was hungry, so I bought 2 egg salad sandwiches. So, because I didn't know like what I was gonna have for lunch or anything today. So I sat inside on the chair, and I watched, well, I had only watched 1/2 of the first episode of season 3 of Truth Be Told. So I ended up watching the second half, and then I ate my other egg salad sandwich and the other little bag of chips that I got. And, yeah, this diet's not going so well yet, but anyway, that'll get started here soon. And then, So I watched the other half of that. I think I had like 45 minutes of the episode, 40 or something like that. I'd only watched like 10 minutes of it. I said like half, but it was only like 10 or 15 minutes of it. So I had a lot of that first episode to watch. And then I listened to, oh, no. So then I looked out the kitchen window, and it was like snowing really, really hard. I don't know when that would have been. I watched something else, too. What else did I watch? I don't even know, because by that point it was like 8:30. Oh, no. I know what happened. So after I watched that, I went upstairs, and I was talking to Alex, because he was up at that point. He was playing his game in bed. And so we were just like laying there talking, and he was like, is it snowing? Like, what's the snow like? And when I came out, it was just literally like it had been like a dusting of maybe like 1/2 inch. And so it was like, no. And he was like, so it's not like bad enough for me to stay home? I was like, no, not at all. Like the streets were completely like black and drivable and whatever. And he was like, okay. So then he started getting ready, and I laid there in bed with Boo Radley, and he was being so sweet this morning, and I was talking to Alex, and I was listening to my audiobook, because I want to finish Flame and Fortune today. I have like an hour, I think I have an hour and 20 minutes. I want to finish it today. So I was listening to that, and then Alex left for work about 8:30, and then I came back downstairs, and I was like watching something. I for the life of me cannot remember what I was watching. It probably was just like random YouTube videos or something. But I looked out the window, and it was literally like 15 or 20 minutes after Alex had left, because I texted him right away. And it was like really coming down snow. And I think that's when I filmed the little video clip that I put at the beginning, when it was really snowing outside. And the video clip didn't even like show with any kind of like, you couldn't even really tell how much it was snowing. Like, it was really coming down. And I was so excited. And so I texted Alex and I said, you know, like, it's really coming down with snow. It's really snowing now. And I said, you need to come home for your snow day. And he texted me and he was like, well, let me see how much I can get done. If it keeps on snowing, then maybe I'll cut out early and go to the grocery store. Like, let me know what you want. And I was like, okay. So I texted him some things I wanted. I was like, how about like pasta and like pasta sauce and butter, and then like Texas toast, and maybe I can make pasta tonight. The one thing that I can make besides macaroni and cheese, which I also asked him. And then and I asked for like chips and dip and just macaroni and cheese and whatever. But anyway, so then I ended up watching something else. And then I ended up going upstairs and laying in bed, and I was listening to my audiobook, and I was like, okay, because I kept on thinking I was going to go back to bed for like a couple hours, like 2 or 3 hours, because I'd gotten up so early. Like, I was tired to the point where like I didn't want to get up for like the day, but I was also like wide awake that I couldn't fall asleep. So anyway, by the time that I finally like fell asleep, it was like 10:30 or 11 in the morning. So then when I woke up, Alex had texted me and he said that he was going to work till like 4:30 or 5. Or no, he had a meeting that went until 4:30, and then he was going to go to the grocery store, and then he would be home. And so he ended up staying till about 5, and then he went to the grocery store, and then he just got home. So yeah. And it snowed really bad for about an hour, and then it stopped. But we did get like, I don't know, it looks like an inch of snow, inch and a half maybe. It was really pretty all day today. But it's really wet snow. It's really like gross wet snow. This is the kind of snow that we get in Indianapolis, which is like slush. It's like slushy snow. So yeah, so that was my day. And then tonight, I'm either going to go in there. Well, I don't know. He might want a pizza or something. I noticed that he got some cheese pizzas. If he doesn't want that, then I'll make pasta or something. And then, or macaroni and cheese. And, yeah, we'll make some kind of dinner and then watch something on TV. Oh, the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion is on tonight. So I'm real excited about that. And then I'm going to listen to, try to finish the Flame and Fortune tonight. And that's that. And then tomorrow, because I just kind of like relaxed and didn't do much today. I filmed a drama video and I'm filming this, but other than that, like, I didn't really do a whole lot. I wanted to take down, or I wanted to change the bedding upstairs and do that video. And I didn't do that. And I really, to be honest with you, I didn't do a whole lot of anything. I had a little bit of a snow day today, but I didn't do a whole lot of anything, and which was totally fine. You know, it is what it is. It was a good relaxation day. And but tomorrow I want to like bump out some videos, and then Friday Caroline and I are hanging out, and we are having cousin fun day. So that's Friday, but yeah. This meeting that we went to last night, I was thinking about, like, I've talked about this so many times in my videos about like my love of coffee. And I mean, I always loved coffee. When I was like in high school, when I was using, you know, we would go to like Steak and Shake or Denny's or Perkins, or where else would we go? Shoney's breakfast buffet. And we would get like, you know, just drink like endless cups of coffee. I mean, like, that was kind of like our thing in high school. And you could smoke cigarettes at all those places. And so we would like, you know, drink coffee and smoke cigarettes and just talk for hours. God, those waitresses and waiters they had to have hated us. I mean, I think we tipped well. I don't remember, but what's a good tip on a cup of coffee? You know what I mean? But I was thinking about it last night because, you know, Tanya and I brought the Starbucks in there, but like everybody that came in, there was like a pot of decaf and a pot of regular, and like, and they had this really nice like coffee area, and they had this really nice, like, it was, I mean, they had like, you know, the shakers of sugar and the shakers of, you know, cream, and it was like, I mean, it was really nice. And sometimes when you go to meetings, it's like that. And sometimes when you go to meetings, it's like you have to buy your own coffee or whatever, or bring your own coffee because they don't have that there and whatever, depending on, you know, the meetings. And most meetings like are fully self-supporting. So, which means that they pay rent. So even if you're like in a church, the church will say, okay, the room to rent costs $20 for this night, and then they pay rent to rent out the room and things like that. So they have to pay for the coffee, they have to pay for the rent, they have to pay for everything, right? And so that's dependent on people donating money for meetings, right? Which is why, like, people, you know, you donate money when you go to meetings. So anyway, but it was like all of these people that were like really early in sobriety. There was a guy that got 6 months. There was another guy that got like, I think like 90 days, and they were all just like drinking these like styrofoam cups of coffee, and I was like remembering how much that meant to me in early sobriety, you know. And I was also thinking about like just that feeling that, you know, long-term sobriety is great. I'm so grateful for the blessings that I have that have come along with my long-term sobriety and what my life looks like today and all of that. But there's something that comes along with those early days, you know, and not really being sure, but like going to a meeting and leaving the meeting, and, you know, like all the guys were standing outside last night smoking cigarettes and like talking, and, you know, some people go and get cheeseburgers afterwards and stuff like that. And although, you know, places aren't open as late that much anymore, so that's kind of hard. But, there's just that hope that I think is where that spirituality comes from, you know, that feeling of hopefulness, and that, I don't know, I just, I can remember, you know, coming back to my apartment, and I don't know, maybe that's it, the smallness of life. You know, and maybe it's that I've just never really wished for a big life. I think when I was growing up, you know, I always thought I was going to live in some big city, you know, write for soap operas. When I was like in high school, I thought I'll be a fashion designer and I'll live in New York City. But the reality is, or, you know, there were times that I wanted to be like a movie star and live in Hollywood. But the truth of the matter is, like, that's not really who I am. You know, even like when we talk about like going to Miami and moving to Miami or getting a place in Miami, it's like, well, the talk is to get a place in Miami. And no, and people ask often, they're like, have you guys decided not to do that anymore? No, we're still talking about doing that. You know, last year was not the year we expected, and so that was kind of put on the back burner for a while. But even like in Miami, like the areas that we look at, you know, are very kind of like small world areas. It's not like, I don't want to be where like all the high rises are and stuff like that. Like that's not where I want to be, you know. And I think when I think about being in early sobriety, and now don't get me wrong, like Alex would love to be in a penthouse apartment in a high rise, but he also understands that, you know, that's not necessarily, and listen, if somebody wanted to buy me a penthouse apartment in a high rise, I wouldn't turn it down. So I might be a small world, but I would truly take a penthouse apartment in a high rise if somebody out there wants to buy it for me. I'm just putting that out there into the universe. But but I don't, but like at my core, that's not like who I am. And I can remember like, you know, coming home from meetings and putting on my pajamas and, you know, and I'm talking about in early sobriety, you know, when it was like this kind of weather outside, and putting a log in the fireplace and, you know, making a cheese sandwich with a glass of orange juice and making a pot of coffee and watching a movie. I just got a huge whiff of like a fireplace. As I said, that's so weird. And, you know, reading some, you know, recovery literature and my meditation books and watching a movie and going to bed and getting a good night's sleep, you know, and it's like, and starting it all over the next day. There was such a smallness about that to me, but I loved that smallness. And I think it's so funny, like when I watch shows about people that like, you know, not necessarily like the Real Housewives, but when I watch like movies or shows about people that live in like big cities and all this kind of stuff, there's just like, there's nothing about that is really like hugely appealing to me about that. Except for like Only Murders in the Building, but like I wouldn't want to live in those apartments, but their apartments are cute to me, you know, and how they're made, and I love like the what are they called, the Brookstone, not Brookstone, what's the word I'm looking for, the old, you know, 3-story kind of like buildings that are all like in Chicago and things like that. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I just think that those early days of sobriety were very small for me, and I think what I've always been looking for in my life is just the smallness of the world and the small moments, you know, of a snowstorm, or taking a nap with Boo Radley, or watching a movie with my husband, or driving around with my best friend, or trying a new meeting, or talking to some people in recovery. Like, it's like I've never looked really for the big moments. Those aren't the moments that make me happy. I think there were many, many years where I thought those were the moments that made me happy. And I think I was really disillusioned, you know, and that I thought that, like, if I did this, or if I completed that, or whatever, like, I would be happier, I would be a happier person. And that's just not the case, you know, that's just, and that's not to say that I regret that I tried certain things in my life or accomplished certain things in my life. I'm really proud of the things that I've accomplished in my life, you know. I mean, one of my biggest accomplishments, you know, for me is like getting, you know, well, on top of getting sober, is getting my master's degree, writing a book, things like having a 14-year relationship, like all those things, like I'm incredibly proud of, right? But I think there was a period of my life where I was very driven, and I felt like I have to do this, and this, and this. Even like on YouTube, you know, where it was like, if I do this, then that, and then if I do this, then that, right? And then I just like realized one day, it's kind of like Oz, like everything that you were looking for is in your own backyard. Like, everything that I love about YouTube, I already have, you know? Everything that I want in my life, I already have. All the people and I already have all of that, you know? And I'm blessed, and I'm really grateful for that. So, going to meetings where there are a lot of newcomers is a good reminder for me, because it reminds me of where I came from, and it reminds me of what my life used to look like. But, no buts. I mean, that's just what it is. It reminds me of what my life used to look like, and doesn't today, and I'm grateful for that, you know? So, well, listen, you guys, I'm gonna get off here. I think I'm gonna make a little pot of pasta, or macaroni and cheese, or cheese pizza, depending on what my husband wants. And take these wet Ugg boots off and to get off here now. So I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Wednesday. You've made it halfway through the week. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over whenever you want. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but don't tell anyone. And 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they matter to you, how much they mean to you. You'll be putting a smile on their face. You'll be making them happy. You'll be cheering them up. You'll be making their day. So there's that. And then also be kinder to one another, love one another a little bit more, and be kinder and love yourselves a little bit more. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. Oh, and for those that need to hear it, and those that want to hear it, and those that just happen to stick around, one more, I love you. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. Happy birthday, Lena.